There's a rare creature here in our Valley of Transplants, and that's the born and raised Las Vegan. So today on CityCast Las Vegas, I'm here with two of these lifers, artist Justin Favela and Nevada Independent Opinions editor Andrew Corrali, and we break down what they know about Vegas that the rest of us don't. And a bonus, we're releasing an extended cut of this episode in our members-only feed with deep cut expert insider tips. So if you're not a CityCast Las Vegas neighbor yet, you can do that at membership.citycast.fm. It's Wednesday, February 25th. I'm Sonja Cho Swanson, and here's what Las Vegas is talking about. Andrew, Justin, welcome.
Hey, great to be here.
Hi, thanks for having me.
It is an honor to be amongst you. Let me be frank. I mean, you are the true, real, born and raised Las Vegans. I gotta say, so I moved to Vegas when I was 16, and I very quickly learned that there's a certain kind of prestige that comes with being a born and raised Las Vegan. I don't know, how would you describe to an outsider like what that social cachet is? Andrew, you want to start us off?
Yeah, that's a great question. And I think when you say that you were born and raised in Las Vegas, it sort of projects a number of different things and communicates a number of different things to people. I think one of the main things is it has sort of this aura of glamorous dissolution to it, or alternately like this, or alternately like this aura that you survived that glamorous dissolution.
That's
and perhaps
it.
Suggests that, that you were like forged in the tempering fires of sex and drunkenness and feverish spectacle, that you've seen some shit. And also
as a kid.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That hey, you had some like fortitude of character that you could be put through this delicious crucible that is Las Vegas. So I also think it it says that you're in touch with a particular sort of hedonic bandwidth of Americana, and that you're sort of coded in this weird, fascinating film of alcohol, sex, and general grime that is associated with Las Vegas.
You're a cooler kid than the rest of us.
Exactly.
I would completely agree, because I didn't really realize it until I was in college, and like one by one, I saw a lot of my friends from other states drop out because they just couldn't handle. Like, what do you mean everything's open 24 hours? What do you mean, we can...
Experiencing Vegas for the first time.
Exactly. They're experiencing it for the first time. And for us, being local, it's like normal to us. So I feel like when we get to college, we're like, yeah, we already did that in middle school. So like, we're cool.
Exactly. You're like, you went shopping at 3 a.m.?
Like, yes.
Like, mind blown.
Yeah. And so, there's definitely that, like, people can't believe that you live here. And then they come here and then they see, oh, yes, it's mostly strip malls, a grid of strip malls, And it's like any other Southwestern town.
Yeah. And just tons and tons of like suburbs upon suburbs of housing developments and long, windy streets.
I also feel like there's this expectation about Las Vegas, this perception of them. And I've sort of been able to see it from the outside in talking with people and kind of seeing it myself through different sort of lenses. And that is, I think there's this perception of born and raised Las Vegans as being like enterprising, optimistic hustlers. In the sense of like a scammer, but in the sense of they're ambitious and they're sort of willing to experiment and improvise for the sake of success. And that you work to you'll get rewarded for hard work, and there's a sort of social currency to that optimistic hustle that seems to drive native Las Vegans.
I mean, I think I'm the prime example of that. I got into art, like fine art, like literally a structure that was set up to launder money, for the elite. So I'm a scammer. Yeah. I mean, I'm an artist in the contemporary art world. And so Vegas has trained me very well to just bullshit and, talk about the concepts of my work to make them more valuable, because I mean, most of the casinos on the Strip are just ideas. They're not actually nice buildings, right? And so I feel like I see the facade as a reality, which is what Vegas taught me.
Exactly. And I'm glad you said that. And the connection to strip casinos is really interesting. And as for me, I'm kind of a scammer too. And I got started in journalism just by publishing my own skate and punk zines. And it was, it was fake it till you make it before fake it till you make it was kind of a thing. And yeah, so it was like DIY, all the way. And so I see that as like a very, very Las Vegas spirit for sure.
And to all of my collectors listening, I really do care about my work. I understand that it's about my heritage and my connection to the world and how I see it. I'm not scamming y'all, but make sure the check's clear, okay?
High concept scammer.
Yeah. I think there's something about being a lifelong Las Vegan that also allows you to have that double think, right? To be like, this is fake as hell, but also so real, at the same time.
Yeah.
And I think that's something I learned from you, Andrew, because Andrew was actually my editor when I was actually Andrew's first intern way back in the day.
Circle of life, Hakuna Matata.
I remember him telling me about how much he loved like the kitsch of Las Vegas. And that kind of broke my brain for a second because I think I spent so many years being like, oh, Vegas. And the way that you just like embrace it, Andrew. And I think that's maybe like the born and raised Las Vegan in you that does that.
Yeah. Yeah, and I always go back to the theory, like, if something is sort of fake for long enough and insistently fake for long enough, it becomes real. And I know it's probably some highfalutin Baudrillardian simulacrum kind of thing. But yeah, that's basically it. If you hang around long enough, it whatever is fake becomes authentic itself.
Yeah, to quote Jeff Probst from Survivor, perception is reality, right? And so
wisdom, dropping that wisdom. Thank you so much. All right, so I do got to ask though, are there any stories or examples of a time when you've had the last word because you were born and raised Las Vegan? Do you feel like you were just like mic drop?
Ooh.
That's an interesting question that I haven't even thought about.
I'll give it a few seconds to marinate.
Yeah.
I mean, mine are very practical. Like whenever people come from out of town, I say, okay, what do you want to do? Tell me what you want to do. And then as soon as they start telling me the options, I tell them, okay, these places don't have parking lots. It's going to take us 3 hours to walk from here to there. So what do you really want to do? Do you want to get your steps in or do you want to have fun? Right? And so I'm always kind of the Debbie Downer, like, oh, you want to see a big casino? Well, these are the 3 easiest to get into. This is the cheapest parking, right? So, and a lot has changed in the current years because before everything was free. So now we have to actually do these. We have to play chess when we're going out. But I think that's where the reality hits like, oh, you know what? At that time, the sun is going to be hitting this side of the building. So I don't, it's going to be too hot to go. But around 6, we could go there, So like, it's all these things like Las Vegans know. And then you just see like all these Canadian tourists passing out because of heat stroke. And I'm like, I told you the sun was on the other side at that time. I don't know why you went to go see the Bellagio show at that time,
Yeah, life-saving pro tips.
Yeah. I do feel like you guys have that kind of prestige a little bit with the whole like born and raised. Is there like a little bit of a stereotype of the born and raised character? You know how like Andy in The Office always brings up the fact that he like went to Cornell within like the first 5 minutes of talking to him. I just wonder if that's like something that we're going to learn about you in the first 5 minutes that you kind of were born and raised in Las Vegas.
I feel like we have the same thing that a lot of old New Yorkers have, where we're like, well, back in my day, this used to be the Glitter Gulch, okay? And now it's, so we have this like, this used to be 4 other things before, and remember the days kind of thing. And people are just kind of looking at you like, okay, we're at Fat Tuesday. We're trying to get a 6-foot margarita. Okay. Like who cares? Yeah. And this like, this nostalgia, this kind of sickness that we have, but then also like, but if you're within like a group of Vegas people or people that have been here longer than 10, 20 years, then it's so much fun reminiscing on all the weird places that used to exist. So
it's like a coded language.
Ways. Exactly.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And to your question, Sonja, more practically speaking too, I think there's often an expectation that as a born and raised vegan, if you're dealing with tourists, that you might have like some kind of secret hookup with comps tickets or
that's true.
Discounts.
Yeah.
So that's a question that comes up. And honestly, the processes about that are so arcane nowadays. That's usually like, no, I don't have any hookups because, everything's so sort of like, digitized and corporate.
Yeah, you got to have certain membership with a certain tier of a certain whatever.
Yeah. But I always do appreciate whenever I'm asked, when people say, hey, we're visiting Vegas, and I could always offer a few like non-touristy things, which I'm always, glad to do. And that's always fun. Give them a little insight into, the local flavor.
All right. So now, as my resident, born and raised Las Vegas, I got to ask you, what are some things that you feel like you understand about our city better than someone who didn't live their whole life here?
One thing that I have really come to realize about Las Vegas is that the way I phrase it is history confers beauty, or at least interest. And what I mean by that is, to the average person, I think maybe for them, the experience of driving around Las Vegas probably isn't that impressive, right? Our architectural vernacular is based on the strip mall. Our expression of the neighborhood is the master plan subdivision. But when I drive around, I'm sort of seeing things in a fourth dimension, and that is, in the dimension of time. So when I drive by the Boulevard Mall, it resonates with, historical interest, and I know it's developed in the 60s as part of the second wave of Vegas suburbanization. I have personal memories there that kind of vibe up. Or when I drive by the Huntress Theater, right, people see the sad old crusty, theater that may never come alive again. But for me, I get this sort of
hold out hope.
EKG, and hope and disappointment, that knowing that, yes, it had these many incarnations in the past. It was one of the first integrated, theaters in Vegas, but it's also got this really interesting, possible future to come. So I guess I see Vegas in a sort of extra dimension than your typical person who just moved there.
I love this. It's very Wrinkle in Time.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I would totally agree with that. I mean, something about Las Vegas that took me a long time to understand, especially getting older and having to defend our city so much, because people always come here and be like, oh, you guys, it's a wasteland. You guys don't care about anything. You're out in the middle of nowhere, right? And so that always drives me nuts. It's like the Mojave Desert, the Great Basin area is so beautiful. And I always get really angry when people start saying that. But then again, I've kind of calmed down about it lately. And I've also realized that, Vegas is kind of this mirror to the world, right? It's where people can experiment, especially big corporations, right?
Yeah.
And it's kind of a reflection of what these corporations think people want to do for fun and to let loose. And so it's really like a barometer to kind of test things out for people. And then if people come here and they lose their mind and they're like walking around, barefoot on the strip, without their keys, trying to find their hotel room, like, that's on you, brother. Like, that's not us, right? They blame Las Vegas, but I think it's really a test to see, like, well, where are you at in your life? You can't handle something open 24 hours. Like, you need to check yourself, right? But then also at the same time, I've traveled so much now because of my career, and there is Las Vegas everywhere, because Las Vegas is trying to cater to every person. So no matter where I am, the UK or Latin America, it's like Las Vegas exists in all these places because it is so iconic, and people that haven't even been here feel a nostalgia for it because they've seen it so much in cinema and in movies and in TV, right? So like, cinema's and movie, the same thing. But but you know what I mean? And so so like, as a Las Vegan that's lived here my whole life, I feel like I have so much more of an appreciation for Las Vegas because the more I travel, the more I realize, like, dude, Las Vegans are awesome. Like, we've been trained to be nice to everybody our whole lives because we understand the tourist economy keeps us afloat.
We tip well.
And we tip well. Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. I can't believe how shitty tippers are from like places that don't have service industries, right?
Yep.
Yeah. And I think there's something really interesting there too, because I think one of the outside perceptions of Las Vegas is that there is a separation or this tension between the strip and the world of off the strip. And what I guess one thing I like to think I understand is that, as a native, that no, there's actually a lot of interesting osmosis between the strip and the world off the strip, as you pointed out, and not just in terms of our values of hospitality, but think about our arts and culture scene, our food scene. There's a lot of, backflow, sort of this tidal kind of thing going on between the strip and off the strip. And you can go to a late night underground theater show at Majestic Theater, and it's staffed with, performers who are doing their stuff on the strip
or
during the
Monday's
week.
Dark,
So,
right? A perfect example of
exactly.
that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, or
where Mondays are usually darker in the strip, and those performers come off the strip for this charity show. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and shout out to Composer Showcase, which is a monthly show at Myron's at the Smith Center. It's all strip musicians and strip songwriters who are just performing purely original work just for a local audience. And so that's the kind of talent we bring here, and that's the kind of talent that sometimes we get to see glimpses of outside the the spectacle of the strip.
Yeah, lots of back and forth, more than you think. Your neighbors could be Cirque du Soleil acrobats. You never know.
Exactly.
Yeah. What do you think is something that maybe like, because I mean, you're not just a long time Las Vegan. You're a real like lifer. You had like the span of your lives in Las Vegas. What do you feel like people, even people who've moved to Vegas as adults, get very, very wrong about Las Vegas?
What I hear a lot is that there are like no such things as neighborhoods in Las Vegas, like identifiable neighborhoods with flavor or character. Mm-hmm. And I think that's totally false. And I think that Vegas has a bunch of interesting and identifiable neighborhoods. You just have to sort of, open your eyes and not drive on the freeway all the damn time, and take some surface streets and drive around. You got like, near downtown, you got, the Scotch 80s, you have the historic West Side. Midtown, you have Paradise Palms, even Green Valley and Summerlin. I would argue they have a perceptual vibe. So I think 15th Street downtown, I think, is its own little weird home tour of
interesting,
really cool mid-century and beyond architecture. So I think there's a lot more architectural and sort of residential historic interest than a lot of people from a lot of newcomers might not appreciate.
Yeah, there's a lot of little pockets of Vegas where there's generational people that have been here since like the mid-century, right? And so they have block parties, right? They'll shut down a cul-de-sac and have a party with everybody. And yeah, that happens more often than we know, because a lot of us do live in these brand spanking new master plan communities and don't see that. But yeah, I recently moved last year into an older neighborhood in the northeast side of Vegas. And I'm so happy to be there. Like, I actually know my neighbors. On the weekends, people are selling different things out of their house. You go eat at different people's houses. It's incredible. And I didn't have that experience before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
East
there.
side.
Life is there.
East side.
Is northeast side a thing? Northeast side.
Northeast, yeah, it is. I'm sure. Sunrise Manor.
That's where I grew up. Yeah, Sahara and Lamb, Sunrise Manor. Yeah.
Okay.
I was gonna shout out Sunrise Manor. I didn't know if I would get a whoop whoop.
Look at that.
So
representing.
I love it.
Neighborhood love right here.
Exactly.
I also wonder too, though, if being born and raised in Las Vegas is maybe less and less important as more and more people are actually born and raised in Vegas. Is that the vibe you're getting to?
I would agree. With you. Yeah. It's not as special anymore because there's so many generations now of Las Vegans. And so, yeah, I feel also like the internet has changed everything. So
yeah, it's flattened. Yeah.
It's flattened everything. And we're just kind of one big glob of like culturally, I feel like the kids kids are like, we might as well be in California kind of thing,
right.
Or
they've been raised by the internet.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's like the vernacular has changed. Like everybody's kind of, there used to be more specific like Las Vegas slang that was maybe based on slang
Hella
from California.
Yeah.
Exactly. But
hella.
Hella, dog.
Also, Hecka. Hecka was a fun alternative, I feel like, in high school.
Oh, yes. Shout out to the Mormons for that one.
I must have missed the Hecka window. I don't even remember that one, but maybe I was.
That was at the turn of the century. Yeah.
I
love it. I love it. But I agree. And I think the explosive growth of Las Vegas, especially it's like, the last 50 years, the massive suburbanization. So now it's completely possible to grow up in Vegas and have a completely non-Vegas middle-class suburbia type experience, which is cool, but also kind of sad. And I'm sure Justin has, like very Vegas stories. Like my mom was an IV nurse for many decades at Sunrise Hospital, and she put needles in Wayne Newton and Jerry Lewis and Diana Ross. And my dad, worked at the test site, and he would fly to work, and we'd have to pick him up. When we picked him up at the airport, there was this secret airport that was part of what was then called McCarran. It was called the Hughes Executive Airport. And it was, we always thought it was like the secret airport where we pick up dad from his, government work that we don't even know anything about. And so those felt like distinctly, Las Vegas kind of experiences. And it's like, are those as prevalent or common nowadays? Who knows?
Yeah, I feel like it's the, it's kind of the thing with millennials, right? Like when we're an elder millennial, we remember the world before everybody had a computer and the internet.
Yes. Yeah.
There is a generation of Las Vegans that remember before, when the mob ran Vegas, the good old days of when employees were, the good old days when employees were treated like people, And so, I mean, I think that's the sentiment I hear a lot there was a lot of messed up things because of that. But now it's like, okay, well, the new mob, the corporations now, they're like a little less caring about you as an individual. And so I feel like all three of us, I mean, I got the tail end of it, because it all kind of switched over in the 90s. But but of course, it still exists in different forms. But back then, it was just I feel like people were looking out for each other a little bit more in that sense, like as far as community within your workplace and like kind of relationships on the strip and in your neighborhoods.
Yeah, yeah. It's so interesting to me that as there are more and more of you, these born and raised Las Vegans, your kind of unique, distinctive culture of being this special category is less and less important. So yeah, Andrew, Justin, thank you so much for sharing these precious observations, your wisdom from the ages. Thank you.
Precious moments.
Yes, you're welcome.
Thanks, Sonja. It's been great.
Thank you.
Thanks, y'all. And that's all for today here on CityCast Las Vegas. If you enjoyed the show, and I know you did, go tell a friend, rate the show, leave us a review, 5 stars please, and subscribe to our morning newsletter. Don't forget you can support this show and get some great perks by becoming a CityCast Las Vegas neighbor at membership.citycast.fm. And special note, we're dropping an extended version of this episode in the members-only ad-free feed. We'll be back tomorrow morning with more news from around the city. Take care.